Good morning, Coalition of Concerned Republicans. Happy Thursday. Amazing. Life is going at a stellar pace. Yeah, we had the Islamic Center of Clermont Incorporated remove their Islamic Center expansion from the Lake County Board of County Commissioners September agenda. Very interesting, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we have Joe Fumasi with us. And Joe is running to be the mayor of Clermont. So I just want to share a little something with you. Obviously, myself, I've been on the Republican Executive Committee since 2010 here in Lake County. And, around election time and stuff, people start coming running to the Republican Executive Committee and Republican candidates want to get endorsed and all that kind of stuff, right? You never heard of these people. Nobody comes around. They don't talk to you. And everybody comes in when they want your help, obviously, right? So um, Joe Fumasi came over and visited us at the Republican Executive Committee meeting, and that's kind of the mindset that I had when I met Joe. And then, of course, we bumped into each other out in the field a few times, and I listened to what he had to say. And my original reaction when I started engaging with Joe was, "Wow, this guy really is smart. He understands these issues. He really understands a lot about what's going on in the city of Clermont, and he's running for office." So I don't think it's a surprise to anybody, ladies and gentlemen, that we're Republicans here. And while Joe's race is a nonpartisan race, and he can't go out publishing that he's a Republican all the time, but I can. And we'd like to get more Republicans elected in city councils. So we invited Joe to come on the broadcast today, and let's learn a little bit about him. Again, my name is Mike Levine. Welcome to Restoring Our American Republic. Chuck Benoit is with us, as he always is, facilitating our program. And as I said, we have Joe Fumasi with us. So why don't you guys come on the screen here? And we'll give Chuck an opportunity to make a couple of comments before we unleash the amazing Joe Fumasi.
There we go. Well, welcome to the show, Joe, and very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of bumped into Joe quite a little while back too, and yeah, I think I might have even encouraged him to join the REC back then. But we've been chatting a little bit back and forth, and he's impressed me as well. So we're going to kind of, because we just have our half hour, we're going to try to get right on into it. And I'd like to ask Joe to possibly introduce himself. So tell us about Joe Fumasi.
Thank you, Chuck. My name is Joe Fumasi, and I'm running for the City Council, Seat 3, the mayor. I have been in Clermont and fell in love with it. So I really appreciate this opportunity. I've been married for 15 years. I was a correction officer for 20 years. I've been actively engaged in government, and I fell in love with the community of what we call Clermont City. And I hope to bring some better ideas and move this forward.
That's fantastic. Chuck, come back on with this, Chuck. So why do you think it's important that you're running for office, Joe?
Well, I'm hoping to bring the model of citizen advocate and government working together to encourage and build a better codify between the community and government so that we can move ideas forward and bring a better solutions. As an example, water infrastructure. We had an issue down here where the water pipe broke in my neighborhood, and I was able to engage with the city of Clermont's manager and bring ideas and solutions. They worked out the details, and now we have a compact between Sunshine Water and the city of utilities so that if the pipe breaks again, we have constant water coming out of that tap, which is better for the citizens to have a constant flow.
So you would say that without your input, that would not have happened. Am I right?
That's correct. They're using the citizen advocacy as a driving force.
Okay, Chuck, you have
Great,
comments?
great. Yeah, well, that is very interesting. Both Mike and I are very much involved in citizen advocacy, and to see someone like yourself moving right along and getting things to happen between reality and government is always good. It's always good. So, so I think you've said that you're involved in government. Why the mayor? Why are you interested in the mayor's position?
Well, the mayor doesn't have any special powers. They're considered the same as one vote, but I think that it gives the opportunity to communicate with the other council members and being collaborative and working as a team to help guide and push these things, these operations that we want to make for the city into a more positive direction. And then also being in a leadership role, that means that once we pass legislation, that we follow it from start to finish. That means, possibly have to sit in the city manager's office and communicate to them, going out to the field and kind of making sure that it rolls out.
Good.
That's awesome. Chuck,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I'm going to jump on board in support of Joe's concept about citizen government because, democracy in our Republican form of government that we have here is messy. And I've been involved in lots of bureaucracies, and the bureaucracy typically has a tendency, no matter what bureaucracy it is, to want to limit the number of people involved in decision making because you can make decisions faster and easier if you have less people. But the fact of the matter is, I've found, not only in my own business, but also as involved with my community activities and stuff like that, that when you listen to people, you get a lot better ideas, things that would not have come to the table, just like Joe's interaction with this water pipe situation. That would have never come to the table had he not presented it. And like, for example, when I was the chairman of the Republican Executive Committee, we did town halls in all the county commission districts, and we just sat there listening to the citizens. We put up a flip chart, and as people gave us ideas and stuff like that, concerns, we wrote up on the flip chart. And it helped really expedite things and brought things to the table that would have never been brought to the table. And I would say in my own business, when I included my employees who were actually doing certain jobs in the decision making that was associated with that activity, then we made better decisions. So Joe, how about another little um, comment on the importance of citizen involvement in local government? Joe?
So you're 100% right. Part of government's job is listening to your constituents out there and listening to the ideas that they bring forward. And I think that I would be better proposed to want to hear from those individuals and to even the criticisms, right? You can find something in there that could actually help you create a solution. And you need to kind of set your ego aside and really listen to what these folks are trying to say, right? And take those ideas, combine them together, and come up with a more positive solution that everybody could feel good with.
Yeah,
Chuck,
go
what do you
ahead,
think?
Chuck. I couldn't agree more, Joe. Chuck, what are your comments?
Yeah, I'd like to move our conversation along a little bit. Well, I think I'll start with what do you think the citizens of Claremont are most interested in? What are the issues that you feel you need to be addressing for the citizens of Claremont? And then after that, I'm going to move into your issues that are on your website. So,
Okay.
what say you?
So a lot of the biggest thing that I think affects everybody in the city as well as the county is we talk about traffic is a major issue here. And the next thing is also making sure that we have infrastructure and placement of public safety. I think that those are some things that we need to work towards and better improve uh, through legislation and other means. What do you think, Mr. Levin?
Uh, yeah, well, that's obviously a hot topic all over the state of Florida, and particularly in Lake County, where Lake County, outside of Claremont, of course, north. I'm sitting here in Mount Dora, so I'm again. I spent a lot of Four Corners. Really was the the driver, right? I mean, Osceola County just evolved west until it crashed into, Lake County basically, and Polk County too, in the northeast part of Polk County around Disney and all that. There was a lot of density happening down there. And of course, when you have density, you increase traffic and stuff like that. And of course, Wellness Way and all that, that I'm sure is a big issue for you. Um, increases density. So the question becomes, when you increase density, you have a lot of construction projects going on, it makes traffic miserable and actually becomes a public safety issue, as you're pointing out. And so in keeping with what you're saying, Lake County residents, including City of Clermont residents, are very concerned about the um, implementation of infrastructure that is required in order to develop, Joe, right?
Right.
So maybe you'll give us another couple of comments related to traffic, infrastructure. You brought water into the conversation, things like that. So we're talking about density, and we're talking about really the logistics of development to minimize the inconveniences to the citizens, right, Joe?
Correct. I feel that one of the things that we can make sure, especially on infrastructure, right, before we start building anything, that we put ordinances into effect that help make sure that infrastructure comes in first before anything starts, which will help alleviate some of the traffic incidents. Not completely, but it's a start. I think that we need to focus that legislation on creating those opportunities that we put those infrastructures in place. I also feel that the water issues are they're going to get addressed, and it's going to find opportunities to where we can improve it through, well, partly, as the example I used earlier, citizen advocacy, people coming out of these neighborhoods, bringing that to us, and then working together to create a good solution.
It makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I thought possibly I'd throw your website up there. And so this is, I guess, the greeting page here. Joe Fumasi for mayor, city council, seat 3. And got a little methodology to get people to join your campaign. I thought maybe I'd throw the issues section up here. And we've already talked about infrastructure. That's a key issue that you feel is important to you, and as you just related, important to the citizens of Clermont in particular. Keep Clermont safe. What are we talking about there?
Well, acting as a citizen advocate again, we currently had a situation on response time, and working through the fire chief of Clermont and city manager's office, I was able to advocate for a temporary fire station down into my neighborhood, which lowered the response time down to 6 minutes. Also, the fire department maintains 2 highly recommended programs that qualify for insurance reduction rates, along with the 6-minute response, which could eventually save homeowners' expense on the insurance for the citizens of Clermont. So by working together with the city's manager's office and bringing these forward to them, and working together to come up with a solution to create a situation where now we're hoping that we can push this into other neighborhoods where we kind of follow that 6-minute response and finding ways, practical ways to move forward and bring that to every section of the city.
Excellent.
I don't know how you feel about that, Mr. Ben.
Mhm. Chuck,
Very
what are
good.
your thoughts?
Super. And then just moving down below that, we'll go to fiscal responsibility. Where are you there? What are we talking about here? You're talking about rising property values. You tell me. Just soon
So
hear from you.
I think that it's a responsibility of a government to review its spending and to look for ways to cut what we can. And at the same time, while we maintain the core services, right? Fire, public safety, parks, and make sure that we're not adding more to every year just because that's what we do, that to make sure that it's necessary and justify to the taxpayers as well. So I
Well,
really,
there you go. Mhm.
yeah,
Go ahead. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, people that run businesses run basically zero-based budgets, right? They go through their operating statements line by line, invoice by invoice, vendor by vendor. They figure out what they need and what they don't, and they cut out the expenses out of their operations that they don't need. And I just don't see government really doing that, Joe. What do you think?
I agree 100%. And I think that in this day and age, we need to refocus on that
And
and bring that to the forefront.
right. And it's just amazing, particularly in a county that is as Republican as Lake County is. I'm just astounded that every time you turn around, these guys are wanting more tax money and increase, for example, up here in North Lake, they just have this North Lake Hospital District, which is antiquated and I would suggest myself personally, I'd like to see it removed. The school board's got another quarter point, 0.25% millage rate coming on the ballot in November. Because the school board's $1.2 billion a year is not enough. And, the school board members have talked to me recently about my point of view on that. They want to explain to me why. They need another quarter of a point millage on the schools and everything. But for me, until people start going through these budgets line by line, I'm not interested in giving any more money. What do you think, Joe?
Well, I think that you made a good point here. When we start talking about the folks that are sitting at the kitchen table and doing their own budgets, they don't have ways to pull extra money out, right? And so they have to look at it. And we in government have to be reasonable about this. There's only so much money, and we have to make our priorities. We can't just keep spending, right? And expect the citizens to pay it because they only have so much money. So we need to really defend that aspect of we nearly need to look at each budget every year and make sure that, hey, what we're using is what we really need today. It wasn't a need of yesterday.
And I just make a little small correction that we don't need to look at the budget every year. We need to look at the budget every day, right?
Well, you're
I mean, that is
100% right. Yes.
that's the pulse of your organization, right? So, I mean, you
Right.
need, every organization needs to go through and, reconcile your bank statements every month,
Right.
go through it, see what you're paying for. Every line item on that bank statement, just say, do we really need this? Do we really need this? What would be the impact on the citizens of Clermont if we didn't spend this money on this line item? And the other point I'd like to make on government spending is that government creates nothing. Government is a consumer.
Right.
And when you take money out of the economy, that's less disposable income from the citizens in your jurisdiction that they can spend in the free market economy. And I'm telling you that I've had this conversation recently with very influential elected officials in Lake County. And there's just no understanding that private sector business activity pays the bills. And it's not when Sean Parks ran for the Board of County Commissioners in 2010, I sat down with him. I liked Sean Parks. He was an Eagle Scout. That was all I needed. I supported him, right? And I told Sean, I said, listen, my job as a business person is to grow my business to be as big and as profitable as I can. Your job as a county commissioner is to keep the size of government as small as you can, so that I have the resources to go out and grow my business and, create profitability for my business and to employ the people that are required in order to provide the goods and services to my customers. That's what it's all about. And, the more we start putting the priorities of government ahead of the priorities of citizens and taxpayers, the worse it gets. Joe?
I agree 100% that we've kind of lost that path. But I do have to give credit to Councilmember Allison Strange and her push forward for the transparency in the city's websites that make it easier for me as a citizen to track those and, like you say, reconcile those every day, right? Those are done in live time. And I think that more progress with help to get legislation there, we can make that more transparent and a more positive way to help guide our city finances.
Yeah, so
That
that's
sounds
your
pretty good to
next
me,
thing
Chuck. How
here.
about you?
The next
Go ahead.
piece of your information here is transparent government. You just kind of addressed that a little bit with, would you like to elaborate a little bit more on that?
Well, I think that a government needs to be open and honest with the citizens. The citizens should be able to see anything that they want to see when they request that from their government. I've done a lot of informational requests, and I sometimes wonder, did I get everything that I needed, right? And I really push the idea that we need to be open to the people and we need to be able to show them everything as much as we can to show a transparent government in this circumstances. So I think Mr. Levin has led the charge on that, right?
Levine, yeah.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So the final thing here is the overdevelopment, which we kind of talked about regarding infrastructure first. But would you have anything more to say about that before we move on to the next thing?
Well, I do have a big concern about density when they come back after the fact of a PUD and they try to increase that. I hope that we can write legislation to try to control those kind of things because higher density does make me nervous. And I really hope to find solutions to correct those kind of things and to make it work with the infrastructure and not try to overload those particular areas.
Okay. Well,
Density is an interesting subject. Go ahead, Chuck.
just to finish up with your website, it is Fumasi4 spelled out mayor.com. Fumasi, F-O-R, mayor.com. So
That's
There you
correct.
go.
there we go. And
All right, super.
I think what we're
So you got a
showing,
pretty big Facebook presence too, huh, Joe?
Yeah, attempting, yes.
there you
All right,
go.
how's it going?
Uh,
How's your
it,
social media going?
it's going pretty well. I'm making little headways here and there. I'm on several of the platforms, YouTube, X, to try to reach out across different areas for folks.
So why don't you give us
So,
your handle on those particular social medias for people who do social media, which I would say most people do. How do they find you
right,
on Facebook, X, YouTube?
Facebook. So Facebook, it would be under Joe Fumasi for City Council Seat 3, the mayor.
Wow, that's
The
a
you
long one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The Clermont YouTube page is called Clermont New Residents for Change. And
Clermont, new residents for change. Okay.
yeah. And on X, it would be Fumasi for Mayor.
All right, great. So anybody in the audience who would like to have Mr. Fumasi's social media handles on the various different platforms, if you just put a comment down there requesting it, we'll make sure that we get them to you. We'll give them to you nice and written down so that you remember them and you'll be able to find Mr. Fumasi easily. Okay, Chuck, you good with
There we
that?
go. There we go. Well, the next thing on my list is the parking garage situation. I keep hearing about this parking garage, but I don't see any garage, and I'm not sure where you'd put it. So, what's the deal with the parking garage in downtown Claremont, Joe?
So apparently, the city has moved forward with making a citizen advocate board, which I think is 100% headed in the right direction. They recently have just been assigned, and they are starting a preliminary workup of trying to create a actual parking garage for the downtown area that I think that once they come up with a concept and they get it together, I think it's going to benefit the downtown area economically and also create a more environment where people will want to visit down there because where they're going to place it, they haven't proposed an exact spot yet, but I'm sure that it'll be in walkable distance of every single business in the downtown area.
Well,
That's
that's
Right.
fantastic.
great. That's great. So the bottom line
I just
is
want
I
to make a
shouldn't.
comment if you don't mind,
Oh yeah,
Chuck,
go
if you
ahead.
don't mind.
Go ahead,
Right.
Mike.
So again, listen to this, right? So we're going to have a citizen advocacy. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a board, a citizens advocacy board, who will be hand selected by who? Oh, maybe the city council could be. So
Right.
my point to you is this, why don't we just have, I don't mind having a board, but the board should have open meetings. They should say, hey, we're going to have a citizen advocacy town hall meeting today, and the board is going to run the meeting, but I want all the citizens to be invited because, even if you have a 5-member board, right?
Right.
You still are going to be, and the people that are going to be selected for that are already people that are very familiar with the mindset of what's going on in the city. So are you really bringing in a fair representation of the city, Joe?
To that point, yes, they're actual business folks that have been appointed to this board. These board meetings are recorded and open to the public to view, so you can attend these meetings in person if you want
Okay,
to.
there you go.
And so it's a definitely open process.
Oh,
Okay,
That
great.
so you're supportive. Mhm.
Just to
yeah.
help continue on, because again, we begin to run a little bit at a time. There are businesses in Claremont other than downtown. Are they on your radar there, Joe?
Yes, South Clermont, it's going to need some support, right, to help these businesses proceed to grow and prosper down here in the South Clermont area. I think sometimes they are forgotten when it comes to the city, and that we need to prioritize them just as much as we prioritize the downtown area.
Well,
I have a
great.
question.
That's good to hear. So, Claremont is the largest city in Lake County. How is the city-county relationship working?
Well, I think that it's a work in progress. I think that we could probably do better as a city reaching out to county government and building partnerships. Um, just recently in the neighborhood down below me, Regency Hills and Hartwood Landing, citizen advocates got involved and they found out about an issue that the county or the city didn't see coming. And they carried it up to the city officials, which there's the example I tried to lead by in my neighborhood, and they took that to them, brought the problem, and actually brought some solutions. And now the city and the county are trying to work better to work the situation out, and they're actually probably going to come up with some great solutions. And that was all because of citizen advocacy and encouraging governments to work together. That we're going to build an outstanding situation, and I'm hoping that we can carry that model forward and create more opportunities where the city and the county can work hand in hand and have good outcomes.
Sure. Would you mind elaborating a little bit on what the problem was?
So apparently they're extending the Hancock Road up to the Wellness Way. And apparently there was a Hartwood Landing and Regency Hills share that a secondary entry or exit entry or exit from that particular road area. And apparently the contractor was going to shut down the whole road, which would cut off the emergency response. So because the citizen advocacy saw that, right, and they went up and they talked to their city officials here, and then they were able to go up to the county and bring this to them. And now there's a solid consolidation of friendships going on here to try to overcome this issue and figure out good solutions to it. And that all is all because the citizens in the area got involved, and the government's heard them, and now they're building a relationship to try to overcome that obstacle.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
We end the program, and I'll end it again today with, if you are unwilling to govern yourself, you will be governed by tyrants. Now, whether this is tyrannical, I'm not saying. I'm saying we need to be governing ourselves. We need to be involved, each and every one of us. Mike, we're pretty much coming down to the end of our time. Is there anything more you'd like to quickly ask or share?
I think we're good. For me, I'm coming away with this situation. I think the thread running through this interview is citizen advocacy, and who could be against that, right? I mean, there are people who are against it, by the way, just for the record, right? But I'm a fan of it. I think everybody should be heard, as Mr. Fumasi pointed out earlier. Particularly people who disagree. I mean, what did Charlie Kirk say, right? Right? Prove me wrong. Put the people who disagree with me at the front of the line, because that's how you make progress. When we talk to people that agree with us, we're in an echo chamber and we're not getting anything done. Everybody's already on the same page. So by talking to people that disagree with us, we actually get things done. Our mind is expanded to different points of view, and I believe that's a really big deal. And I'm pleased today, ladies and gentlemen, that citizen advocacy really is, I think, the common thread that has been, has run through this conversation. So I'm going to turn this back over to Chuck, who can kind of see where we're going from here.
Yes, it would be really wonderful for a citizen advocate individual to possibly be the mayor. Who knows? It might be a very good
I
thing.
like that idea.
Might be a good thing. So as we approach the end of our time, Joe, I'd like to just give you a few minutes to give us a final push on why you should be the next mayor of Clermont, Florida.
Thank you, Chuck. I realize that I am outside the political circles and the first time for running for office, but sometimes that's a good thing when you bring in fresh pair of eyes on situations that need somebody that is living your problems. And I hope that you'll give me the opportunity to bring kitchen table ideas up to the city council, and appreciate that I am coming from a perspective of living like you, just a neighbor, trying to live my life. And now I want to step up and help you have a better life here and make great things for your city.
Great, thank you. Any last comment, Mike?
I'm good, Chuck.
Well, thank you, Mayor, or possible Mayor. Thank you, Joe Fumasi. Thank you, Mike Levine. And thank you all for tuning into our twice weekly live stream. Please follow us on Facebook and X at Restore Our Rep 76. Check us out on YouTube at Restoring Our American Republic ROAR. Please like and share the program. And remember, if you're unwilling to govern yourself, you will be governed by tyrants. Until next time, God bless you. God bless President Donald J. Trump, and God bless America.